Hey Jennifer, Tom Grandy. Good job tracking down some of the issues with the meta tags with Facebook. I looked into it a little bit further based on the articles that you shared with me. Some were referring to sharing from a website, not to a website. The first article that you sent, and the other ones were definitely onto how the meta tags get formed. And specifically, I found interesting the whole Facebook debacle trying to stop fake news. And I get it, I do, but it does cause issues when you're just trying to do something and be um, nice about doing it and not swapping out photos. So definitely want to go through how to do this the correct way. And I think you've got it figured out as far as using the debugger tool and how that will go out and scrape and cache what you're trying to share so it gets displayed. It adds one more step for you, but like I said before, we can't control what Facebook does, but you definitely figured out how to research how Facebook does this, so I guess you'll become our local expert. So well done. So I did want to show you, you had a question about how to get the image to show in a larger format, and I did figure that out, so I was going to share that with you here. So taking a look at this article on the developer site, it talks about images and link shares, and it talks about the minimum size being 200 by 200 pixels to show on a page, and that would be what you end up with, like down here, the small thumbnail to the left. And then if you want it to be a large image that displays above or below the text, then it needs to be at least 600 pixels across. Now, how this is being rendered, or how Facebook is picking this up, and I'll try to make as much sense out of this as I can, has to do with the size of the image in the URL that you share. So let's say if we wanted to share this photo gallery, and we copy this and we go over to the sharing debugger and we paste it in and debug it. It says hasn't been fetched before, so we fetch the new information and it goes out and grabs it. And in the first render, it doesn't show it. We scrape it again on the second render. Guess what? It looks like it caches it. But in this case, here is that smaller image, but where it's pulling that preview image from is from this gallery of images. And notice they are all smaller than the, what was it, 600 pixels across. So if you share a photo gallery, it's going to end up being the smaller version, unless we make these thumbnails, large, like really large, and then it's not going to behoove you to have a gallery because it's going to be so large. The page load is going to slow down how people can load this page, especially on a smaller or a lower bandwidth connection. So I guess when it comes to photo galleries, you're going to end up with that smaller thumbnail image just because this image is so small. So we're not going to get that big one. But if we take a look at what happens when you share a story that has a large image. So I went out and just looked at one that had a larger image. Where was it? Tuesday night lights on Hillsdale football field. Now here's the news story. Notice it has a nice large photo. This one is over, I think it's the 1,000 pixels across. And so if we grab this, and one thing that kind of popped out to me was this was an inline image. I thought it had to be attached as an image down here, but as you will see, it doesn't need to be because it does pick up, this does have meta tags attached to it. So any JPEG that we upload into a story, even though it's called an inline image, in other words, you placed it in the content page itself, it's still going to get picked up. So let's not grab that whole URL, just what the URL looks like when we view it. I don't really want that pound sign, so here it is. That's the URL that gets us there. And if we put that in here, and we debug it, and I have scraped this one already, so it's cached on Facebook's servers. Notice now we end up with the image and preview. So as far as the preview being the title. So if I go over and I take that same one, granted it's been cached, so Facebook has a copy of it. I put it in there, there it goes. Now what I'm not seeing is you're getting the image, you're getting the URL and the title. What we can do, and I've done this before, is once I pop the URL in there, I can then delete it and put Hillsdale, it'll be whatever, doing something cool, Friday, and if I post it, let's see what happens. Not only do I get this, but I have the text, a caption if you want to call it, that talks about what's going on, so I can customize that so it looks a little bit more unique to what I want to say. It doesn't just, it pulls the information. It does have that large image that you were looking for, and we can put text in it as well. So that's how you do that, but what dictates that is having a large format image to begin with. And not all of these, I'm not going to go through them all, not all of them. I'll take a look at another one that I saw, like this Hillsdale pipeline, small image, not larger than, what was 600 was the magic number, so 600 pixels across. You want it to be larger than that? Let's take a look. Yeah, larger than 600 across. The height isn't that important, but the width is what the parameter, minimum parameter is. And so this one would not pick up the image. I mean, we can test it. Let's go out here. So this debugger tool is going to be your best friend to get around Facebook's block for, oh look, that did come in. Maybe it is larger than 600 pixels across, that one. So yeah, for sure, let's go back and grab I guess it's just these photo galleries that are smaller in width that are coming up with that left hand small thumbnail. Let's do that again. It's a new one, so it should be clean. Scrape it. Still going. And see, it goes in as a small thumbnail to the left. So I guess you're going to get that with photo gallery shares, but if you don't want it to be, if you want to get that big photo to display, you want to choose news stories or content pages that have large photos embedded in them. So that is a very long explanation of how to go about doing that. You were definitely on track with what you were doing, discovering how Facebook is rendering these. So well done. I appreciate it. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks.